Music makes me happy because music is a universal, it's a universal language, right? When you listen to a song, you can feel so many emotions, and sometimes those emotions, you're not willing to share them with the public. So when you have a friend that likes or has a similar music interest to you, it's a really interesting way to connect with them, because without even saying a word, you kind of understand that person a little bit more. And this is on a pretty deep level too. I remember growing up, my mom would drive me to school and my mom would blast the radio. And at 7:30 in the morning, I don't know a lot of people that love a good radio blasted all the way volume max. You know, some mornings it sucked and some of them it was, we were rock and rolling all the way to school. But that shaped, you know, my youth, my love for music. And then through a few relationships, you know, with significant people or with friends, I got to be more open and discover. And through this ability to discover and to actually share these, I don't know, these musical feelings with, you know, people that surrounded me, they played a big role in the way that I see music today. Well, music is art in the sense that art doesn't have any limitations. You know, while one person might think that, oh, this is so ugly, I don't like this, I think that music, in a type of way, everything is beautiful. Just because you don't like a painting doesn't mean that somebody else will think the same way. And it's a creation. Somebody started with nothing, with a blank canvas, which is your song, which is nothing. And they added through their own creative process, their own emotional process, this significance to what they're then sharing with people. It's very transparent, and transparency is, it's important in the, just as much in the music industry as in real life and every day. I wanted to be a lawyer, and that did not, you know, that did not follow through. I started listening to music all the time. I bought a few guitars. I've now got 4 guitars, and I remember I started off with one, and I would only play in my room. I was kind of scared, but I'm not the, you know, I'm not the musician. I prefer working with them. But what brought up to that is the fact that I curated music for fun. And then I started sharing it with friends. I started seeing that you could attach a mood and an emotion to not only a song, but a set of songs. And I started thinking, well, we have local businesses here that they could add a little ambiance to their environment. So it'd be fantastic to suggest ideas on how they could keep the clientele longer with music. And then afterwards, I really started understanding the deeper side of a song and what you could connect it to. And that really allowed me, so when I sit down with artists, to be able to understand them more and their own work, because it's their, not only their passion, but it's their work. And when you can really understand someone's work is when you connect with them. And over the past few years in Montreal, I was lucky. I had friends that were very supportive. And I was also lucky because I had friends who were not supportive at all. And because of those, you know, because I had those two sides, it really allowed me to, you know, ask myself, what am I happier with? The people that tend to be more realistic or realists, or the people who, you know what, are optimists and who still have, you know, a realistic mindset, but who decide to, you know what, be transparent, be yourself with people. And obviously over the past year specifically, I landed a wonderful job with the Canadian Live Music Association, to which I then created my own business where I recruit and manage. And that it's been a roller coaster. I can't say it in any other way, but it's, you know, you can never be sad if you're on a roller coaster, because you're always going up and down. And when you go up, it's pretty cool. When people go out, they love to go to a concert, and the moment is immortalized. You're there and you're looking at the band and it is amazing. But when a phenomenon like a pandemic happens, we tend to forget about the artists, and we tend to forget about how they're coping with it. Financially, I think their lives have changed. And to start off with, it's not every artist that's a millionaire, and not all of them have those funds and the platinum albums to necessarily pay their rent for 5, 6, 7, who knows how many months, right? And all of their costs as well. So what we're doing is we're telling the government right now that if the music industry was the first to shut down, it's really important that to not kill off such a creative segment to our communities, because this has been there long before business has. Creativity has been what brought business, what brought, all this innovation. And it's important that we remind ourselves to, also support it. And this is my 35-second speech on, when I talk to people and I tell them that I'm an advocate for the Canadian Live Music Association. Being who I am and doing what I do, it requires a lot of emotion, which means I'm a very emotional person. And if nobody believes that, please go and consult my last relationships. I am in an amazing way, but very, very emotional, caring and open and transparent. When you are emotional and you open up to people, the toughest part is at first, because you are doing an action and you will receive a reaction from people. And based on those reactions, you will feel a certain way. And you have to you have to stay focused on what's around you. What is a constant? What is consistent? What has stayed around? I think that people get lost in the idea that you need a lot to be happy. And you need a subset of a certain amount of things. But for me, you really just have to look at what wants to stay around you, what wants to support you. It's very important to be transparent and to be emotionally honest. And luckily, my job is something that allows me to do that every day. I spent 5 years trying to be somebody I'm not on social media. So the biggest tip that I can probably give to someone is be you. And it's going to be a shock. You're going to think that what you cared about, has left you and that tears your world apart. But you're also going to see this influx of amazing things that have always been there. And you're going to build upon that. I think social media is an amazing thing. It's also pure garbage, but we have to learn how to use these tools in a very natural way. Social media is not natural, but when you try to use a natural and authentic approach to it, it's when it really works. I think that everything is so visual on social media that nobody listens anymore. And it's very important to use your social media and to see that, not only am I being transparent, but maybe this person is being transparent with me and is actually being who they are. And if they're taking a second to share that, I'm going to engage with them and we're going to create a conversation about that where we can share passions. And that, for me, social media is not any more complicated than that. It's about being who you are. It's about staying true to yourself. And, it's obviously about using it less than 6 hours a day, because otherwise you lose your brain.